Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Michael Kelly, and joining us this evening from the Royal Australian Navy is Commander Paul Mogger. We warmly welcome the family of Sergeant Ronald Thomas Carroll, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by family and visitors. I ask you to please stand and join in singing the national anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families, friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Sergeant Ronald Carroll. Ronald Thomas Carroll was born on the 17th of December 1936 in Moree, New South Wales, to Thomas and Edna Carroll. The family moved to Grafton when Carroll was a young boy, and he attended the local school before becoming an apprentice painter and signwriter. Carroll wanted to make more of his life, so on the 25th of June 1956, at the age of 19, he enlisted in the Australian Regular Army for a 6-year term. Following his basic training, he was posted to the Ordnance Corps and became a storeman. Again, wanting to do more, Carroll requested a transfer to infantry. After training as a rifleman, he was posted to the 1st Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment, on the 11th of July 1957. The following month, he was detached for duty with 3 RAR. In October, Carroll was posted to Western Australia to attend a basic parachute training course. He passed the course and joined 1 Special Air Service Company. He was sent on more courses in 1958, including his subject courses for corporal in June, followed by a promotion to temporary corporal in July. While posted to the SAS in Perth, he met Jennifer Ward Hughes, and the two began a relationship. They married on the 2nd of April 1960 in Geraldton, and in the following years, 3 sons and 2 daughters were born to the couple. Carroll was posted as an instructor to Kapooka in January 1960. During his time at Kapooka, he successfully completed his subjects for promotion to sergeant. Carroll returned to 3 RAR in May of 1962, and the following month he re-enlisted for a second 6-year term. 3 RAR deployed to Malaysia in August of 1963. Carroll's family were able to travel with him and were allotted married quarters. Over the next 2 years, the battalion was involved in the Indonesian confrontation and patrolled into Indonesian territory, at times clashing with Indonesian regular forces. Carroll was made acting sergeant on several occasions during the deployment. The battalion returned to Australia in 1965 and were based at Woodside, South Australia. In September of 1966, Carroll was promoted to temporary sergeant and was made permanent in that rank on New Year's Day in 1967. Carroll's leadership ability was such that he was given command of his platoon on a number of occasions during 1966 and 1967. The same year, 3 RAR were warned for service in Vietnam. Training began and the battalion was brought up to strength with national servicemen. Carroll embarked with 3 RAR from Adelaide aboard HMAS Sydney on the 16th of September 1967. After a stop at Perth, Sydney sailed to Vietnam, arriving at Vung Tau on 27th of December. The battalion began operations in January 1968. The following months were very busy for the battalion. In June, with his service about to expire, Carroll re-enlisted for a 3-year term. In late July, 1 RAR and 3 RAR were deployed on Operation Platypus in the Hat Ditch area, the objective of which was to disrupt enemy operations, particularly those of the Delta 445 Battalion. 3 RAR established blocking positions in the north of the area of operations. 1 RAR were inserted to the south and patrolled towards 3 RAR. On the 4th of August 1968, 3 RAR located an enemy base camp. Following a preparatory artillery strike, D Company moved to assault the camp. During the advance, Carroll, who was directing the right-hand section of 10 platoon into fire positions, was shot in the chest. The round punctured one of his lungs. Despite all efforts to get in a dust-off helicopter, his wounds were too severe and he died. He was 31 years old. His remains were laid to rest in Terendak War Cemetery in Malaysia. On the 4th of August 1968, in early June 2016, the remains of 33 Australians buried in Terendak were repatriated to Australia. Sergeant Carroll was laid to rest on 7th of June in the Perth War Cemetery with full military honours. Ronald Carroll's name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, among more than 500 others who died as a result of their service in Vietnam. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Sergeant Ronald Thomas Carroll, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they'll be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that concludes this evening's closing ceremony. Thank you very much for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. Safe journeys home, and thank you for visiting.